involved in developing the game plan every week. He's in Kevin Stefanski's ear all game long. It's not like his voice is not heard or he's not part of it. Is there a small difference in being the play caller? Maybe, but I just don't think that makes all that much of a difference. Like Tommy Rees is fully there. And if the Browns have a good quarterback somewhere out there on this team, they're going to put them out there because it would solve all their problems.
Sitting here thinking, if and when Shedeur does actually get the start, I think that Kevin Stefanski should then hand over play calling to Tommy Rees like he did last year when they decided to start Jameis, because I feel that Tommy Rees has the incentive to put his best foot forward and help Shedeur look good. And honestly, feel that Kevin Stefanski has Shedeur's best interest at heart because he obviously wants no part of Shedeur.
Shedeur's development curve is obviously its own element, but 2 games is sort of where I'm looking and saying, if it doesn't start to get better, you've got to really be looking at how quickly we can get Shedeur up and running.
The Cleveland Browns just stepped into a storm they can't control, and this time, it's personal. They didn't just disrespect any quarterback. They disrespected Deion Primetime Sanders through his son, Shedeur Sanders. And if there's one thing you don't do in football, it's make an enemy out of primetime. This isn't your typical NFL headline or another mid-season controversy. This feels like the start of an NFL civil war, a battle between a father with generational influence and a franchise that's built a reputation for burning through quarterbacks like broken promises. It's legacy versus incompetence, pride versus politics, and the whole league is watching. We're talking about Shedeur Sanders, the chosen one, the golden arm prodigy who was supposed to rewrite Cleveland's history and pull the franchise out of its curse. But now, his future with the Browns is hanging by a thread, and his father might be the one ready to cut it. Deion Sanders isn't just upset, he's furious. When prime time starts moving in silence, you know something major's brewing. This didn't just start overnight. Insiders say Deion had a bad feeling the moment Shedeur landed in Cleveland. The vibe was off. The respect wasn't there. From the locker room energy to the way coaches handled his reps, it all screamed backup treatment. And that's something Deion doesn't tolerate. Not after the empire he's built, not after what he's sacrificed for the game. Deion's the definition of a man who demands excellence and gives it back tenfold. He transformed Colorado from a college football afterthought into a national spectacle, all while turning his players into stars. So imagine how it feels for a man like that to watch his own son get sidelined by a franchise known for ruining quarterbacks. It's more than disrespect, it's insult. And make no mistake, Deion isn't the type to just complain and move on. When primetime sees a problem, he strategizes. He moves like a general, quiet, deliberate, and calculated. Every time he's been counted out, he's flipped the entire script. And now, he's ready to do the same with the Browns. People close to the Sanders family say Deion's been keeping receipts for months. Every snub, every ignored suggestion, every "we'll see" from the front office, it's all fuel. And now he's preparing to remind the NFL who really runs the show. When primetime says he's had enough, the football world listens because history shows he always gets the last word. Deion Sanders didn't just bring wins to Boulder, he brought swagger. Every Saturday night turned into a full-on event. The lights, the cameras, the confidence, primetime energy was everywhere. Boulder became the heartbeat of college football, and right at the center of it all stood Shedeur Sanders, dropping perfect dimes, shattering records, and proving to everyone watching that he wasn't just Deion's son. He was that guy. But when he got to Cleveland, that same fire, that same energy vanished. The Browns clearly didn't get the memo, or worse, they did and just didn't care. Either way, what they've done to Shedeur over the past few months isn't just questionable. It's flat out disrespectful. And trust this, Deion Sanders isn't letting that slide. Not today, not ever. So let's talk about what really went down inside the Browns facility, because it's ugly. According to multiple reports and insiders close to the team, Shedeur hasn't been treated like the franchise quarterback he was drafted to be. Not even close. We're not talking about minor slights or tough love. We're talking public humiliation disguised as development. During training camp, while other quarterbacks got clean reps with the first-team offense, Shedeur was reportedly throwing passes to staff members. Yeah, staff. Not the starters, not even the backups. Actual employees who probably hadn't run a route since high school gym class. Imagine that. The son of prime time, the kid who carried Colorado into the national spotlight, being reduced to running scout reps with interns. That's not coaching, that's a slap in the face. For a player who started almost every game he's ever played, high school to college, that's beyond insulting. This is a guy who's been trained his whole life to lead, to win, to rise when the pressure hits. He's worked with 7 different offensive coordinators, survived behind shaky O-lines, taken hits most quarterbacks would fold under. and still delivered. And now Cleveland wants to act like he's just another arm in the room? Please. Deion saw it all from the sidelines. The cold treatment, the whispers, the fake smiles. And you could almost see the smoke coming out of his ears. This wasn't just a coaching decision or a rookie learning curve. This was personal. Because disrespecting Deion Sanders doesn't just hit the son. It hits Deion Sanders, the father, the brand, the legend. And one thing about prime time, if you disrespect his bloodline, there will be consequences. Whether it's in the locker room, the media, or behind closed doors, Deion always finds a way to make sure the message is received, loud and clear. The Browns wanted to test his patience. Now they're about to find out what happens when prime time finally snaps. Now let's talk about the real issue that started all this. Ever since draft night, critics have been circling Deion Sanders like vultures, picking apart every throw, every interview, every move, trying to convince the world he's not ready for the NFL spotlight. But let's call it what it really is. Jealousy, pure and simple. The hate isn't about Deion skills, it's about the Sanders name. People still can't stomach the fact that Deion Primetime Sanders was not only the most electrifying player to ever do it, but he told you he was. He didn't need validation from anyone. He lived it, proved it, and wore his greatness like a badge of honor. And now, years later, they're taking that same energy, that resentment, that envy, and dumping it all on his son. If Shedur's last name wasn't Sanders, this entire conversation wouldn't even exist. Reporters wouldn't be questioning his leadership. Coaches wouldn't be hesitating to give him first-team reps. The media would be drooling over his accuracy, his composure, his pocket presence. Every headline would read "Next Franchise Star" instead of "Can he handle the pressure?" But because he's Deion's son, because greatness runs in his blood, like the goalposts keep moving. And Deion knows it. He's lived this movie before. His entire career, people tried to tear him down for being confident, loud, unapologetic. They called it arrogance when really it was truth. And now he's watching history repeat itself. The same bias, the same hate, but aimed straight at his son. There's no way he's letting that destroy Shedeur before his story even begins. That's why those whispers about Shedeur returning to Colorado aren't some wild fan theory. They're very real. Inside circles say the idea has momentum, and it's not hard to see why. Colorado isn't just a college program for the Sanders family. It's a kingdom. It's where Deion built an empire, where respect isn't requested. It's automatic. Shedeur isn't just a quarterback there. He's royalty. At Colorado, he's not another name on a depth chart. He's the reason seats fill, cameras roll, and recruits line up begging to wear black and gold. Under Deion's command, Shedeur became the face of college football. He grew into a leader, a star, a businessman, all in one. So why would he trade that for a team known for burying quarterbacks? Let's talk facts. Since 2003, the Browns have had 35 different starting quarterbacks. 35. That's not a franchise. That's a graveyard for careers. It's where promise turns to pressure, confidence turns to chaos, and hope disappears faster than the Ohio sunshine in December. And Deion knows it. He's not about to let Shedeur become the next victim in that never-ending cycle of failure. Word behind the scenes is that this story has already hit the trade market hard. Multiple insiders have confirmed that teams have been reaching out to Cleveland for months, hoping to pry Shedeur away before his potential gets wasted. These aren't small offers either. We're talking first-round picks, proven veterans, and future draft capital, the kind of deals that reshape entire franchises. The interest is real, and teams are lining up like it's an auction for the next great quarterback. Everyone sees what Shedeur could become. Everyone except the Browns. Because even with all these golden offers on the table, Cleveland keeps saying no. They keep pushing the same tired line. Shedeur is part of our long-term plan. We believe in his potential. We're committed to helping him grow. But if you've been watching closely, you know that's not the truth. Because while they talk about development, they've been sidelining him, silencing him, and treating him like a backup that doesn't matter. The Browns' actions don't match their words, and Deion's done playing nice about it. The moment those trade calls started hitting his radar, you could feel the shift. Primetime's patience has an expiration date, and Cleveland's just about to reach it. Let's be real. No team that believes in their quarterback makes him throw passes to staff members during training camp. That's not development. That's disrespect. You don't bench a future star behind washed-up veterans who couldn't win a playoff game if their lives depended on it. You don't smile for cameras, preaching about faith in the process, while disrespecting the same guy you're supposed to be building around, both publicly and privately. Deion sees through every bit of it. He's been around this game too long to be fooled by fake smiles and empty promises. He knows when a franchise is being genuine and when they're just running PR damage control. And right now, Cleveland's putting on one of the fakest shows in football history. They're acting like they're behind Shedeur, when in reality, they've done everything but show it. That's exactly why the talk about Shedeur returning to Colorado isn't just gossip anymore. It's a real conversation. Colorado represents everything the Browns aren't: respect, purpose, and a system built to win around him. There's no politics there. No backroom whispers or ego-driven coaches protecting their pride. Just Deion, Shedeur, and a program that actually believes. Now imagine the chaos if that headline hit the screen tomorrow. Deion Sanders leaves the NFL, returns to Colorado under his father Deion. The internet would explode. ESPN would be in meltdown mode for weeks. Talk shows would go off script. Every analyst in America would be debating whether Shedeur made history or destroyed his career. And all the while, Deion would be sitting back smiling because his point would have been made. That move wouldn't just shake up Cleveland. It would humble the entire NFL. It would send a message every front office would hear loud and clear. Respect is not optional. Legacy matters. You don't draft a Sanders and then treat him like a practice squad project. If you're not ready to protect the name, you don't deserve to wear it. Deion doesn't play by the league's keep quiet rulebook. He never has. He built his legacy on swagger, faith, and unshakable confidence, not on playing nice to keep the peace. When primetime steps up, he does it his way. And now he's channeling that same energy into protecting his son's legacy, the Sanders legacy, with everything he's got. And so what would Shedeur actually gain from going back to Colorado? More than most people realize. For starters, he'd be right back in a system designed to show off his strengths, the rhythm, the tempo, the freedom to lead without hesitation. And no one understands that better than Deion. He knows exactly when to push Shedeur, when to protect him, and how to maximize every ounce of his talent. At Colorado, Shedeur isn't fighting for recognition. He is the recognition. He's not another jersey in the locker room. He's the brand, the face on every banner, the reason ESPN cameras flood the sidelines, the reason recruits line up before they even visit campus. He's the heartbeat of the program, the one fans come to see and opponents come to fear. And here's the real kicker. At Colorado, Shedeur doesn't have to worry about losing his job because of politics or favoritism. He's earned that spot, and under his father's leadership, that bond between coach and quarterback can't be broken. It's not about nepotism, it's about trust. Trust that was built on blood, hard work, and belief that nobody in Cleveland ever showed him. In Colorado, Shedeur isn't fighting for a chance. He's living in his purpose, and that's something no NFL franchise, not even the Browns, can take away from him. Now let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, the graveyard of quarterbacks. Every few years, a new savior walks through those doors full of promise, and every single time, they end up chewed up, spit out, and forgotten. The cycle never ends. Bad coaching, chaotic management, and a fan base so scarred by failure, they've forgotten what hope even feels like. Cleveland doesn't develop quarterbacks, they destroy them. It's become their brand. They draft talent, crush it under pressure, and act shocked when the season falls apart again. So why in the world would Deion Sanders stay trapped in that system when he's got a golden throne waiting for him in Boulder? The answer couldn't be more obvious. He shouldn't. And Deion knows that better than anyone. This isn't just about playing time. This is about preservation. The Browns are the worst possible place for a young quarterback with star power, confidence, and potential to grow into something special. That city eats quarterbacks alive, and primetime refuses to let his son be the next meal. Meanwhile, the rest of the NFL is quietly watching this mess unfold. Every scout, every GM, every coach with a brain knows Deion Sanders is one of one. He's not just a prospect. He's a walking brand, a natural leader, a player who commands cameras and crowds with the same ease he commands the huddle. Teams across the league have been dissecting his film, whispering behind closed doors, dreaming of what it'd be like to build a franchise around him. But here's the problem. You can't drive a Ferrari if you don't have the keys. And right now, Cleveland's got the Ferrari locked in the garage. Everybody knows how fast it can go, but no one's seeing it on the road. That's why the trade chatter hasn't stopped, and won't. Insiders say multiple teams have already offered massive packages to Cleveland. We're talking multiple first-round picks, key starters, and future assets. The kind of haul that would make any smart GM think twice. These teams aren't desperate. They're just smart enough to see what Cleveland refuses to. They know Shedeur's ceiling isn't just Pro Bowl level, it's superstar level. But Deion, he doesn't care about the trade talk, the negotiations, or the headlines. He's not in this for leverage, he's in it for legacy. He doesn't care who's calling or how big the offers are. His only priority is making sure his son is in an environment that values him the way he deserves. where his confidence, his work ethic, and his potential aren't wasted by the same old Browns dysfunction. And if that means walking away from the NFL entirely, so be it. Deion has never cared about playing by the league's rules, and he won't start now. If the league wants to call it overprotective, dramatic, or controversial, let them. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about headlines or hype. This is about a father protecting his son's future. He's not letting Shedeur become the next what if, not another cautionary tale of a young star swallowed by the system. Deion built his career standing tall against the odds, and he'll do the same for his son. The Browns might own the contract, but they don't own the Sanders name. So the question isn't whether Deion will pull the trigger, it's when. Because one thing's for sure, he's not about to let history repeat itself in Cleveland. It's the same sad story. Another what could have been quarterback chewed up and forgotten by a franchise that didn't recognize greatness until it was too late. Cleveland has a long list of those names already, and Deion refuses to let Shedeur be the next one written in that graveyard of wasted potential. But this saga isn't just about football. It's about money, power, and branding. And trust me, that part matters more than the Browns want to admit. Because while Cleveland's busy playing politics, Deion Sanders is already building an empire off the field that most NFL rookies could only dream of. At Colorado, Shedeur wasn't just a quarterback. He was a business. He's raking in major money through NIL deals, sponsorships, brand partnerships, and exclusive endorsements. The kid's got his own line of products, his own social media empire, and a loyal fan base that stretches across the world. His face isn't just on highlight reels. It's on billboards, sneakers, commercials, and viral posts that dominate the sports scene. So what happens if he stays buried on Cleveland's depth chart? What happens if the Browns keep him hidden behind tired game plans and uninspired coaching? His brand shrinks, his visibility fades. Those million-dollar sponsorships dry up because nobody wants to invest in a player they can't see. That spotlight he earned at Colorado would dim into nothing while Cleveland fumbles yet another golden opportunity. Deion knows this all too well. He built the primetime brand from scratch, on flash, excellence, and marketing genius. During and after his playing career, he turned his name into a multi-million-dollar empire. He understands the real game behind the game, the business of being relevant. He knows that fame and opportunity in sports are fragile. One bad season, one wrong fit, and it can all disappear overnight. That's why this isn't just about keeping Shedeur's football career alive. It's about protecting his legacy. Deion's not thinking short term. He's thinking about Shedeur's next 10, 20, even 30 years. How to keep his name valuable, his image strong, and his brand expanding beyond football. That's the kind of forward thinking that built the Sanders dynasty. And it's why he's not about to let the Browns gamble with it. And here's the part Cleveland refuses to face. They need Deion Sanders a lot more than he needs them. The Browns are desperate for relevance, desperate for stability, desperate for something that makes fans believe again. Shedeur could give them all of that. Hope, excitement, identity. But instead of embracing him, they're treating him like some lottery ticket they're scared to cash. Meanwhile, Deion's out here building something real, something that can't be taken away by a coach's ego or a GM's politics. He's already proven he can turn a college program into a national movement. He's turned Boulder into a cultural hub and Shedeur into a symbol of a new generation of athletes who own their narrative. At Colorado, Deion is the king, and Shedeur is his crown prince. Together, they've built an empire that stretches far beyond the field. It's not just football, it's legacy, leadership, and longevity. Even if the NFL collapses around them, the Sanders name will still shine. They're not chasing acceptance anymore. They're building a dynasty. So when you really step back, it's clear as day.
If you're going to go make that transition to Shedeur, you've got to give him multiple games. You can't just have him go out there. As satisfying as it might be for some people to have him either be wildly successful or alternatively completely flop, and then you have to go back to the other guy, I think that is a horrible look for everybody and doesn't really get anything done. So look, Dillon Gabriel's struggles are incredibly frustrating. It's limiting the offense, but they need Shedeur to be as ready as possible. So when they make that move, they can commit to him, let him figure this thing out and see if they've got something going there. Because here's the problem you're going to run into for the people who just are obsessed with Shedeur Sanders. If he goes out there and struggles to a point where he's unplayable in one game and they go back to the other guy, that is going to become its own talking point. People are going to freak out. Well, they didn't give him a chance and all this other stuff. So when they make that move, it's got to be for multiple games. Let him figure it out. Hopefully he's going to be ready to make that move.
The Browns might hold Shedder's contract, but Deion holds his destiny. Cleveland's playing checkers while primetime is out here playing chess. And no matter what happens next, one truth stands tall. The Sanders family is building something that will outlast every broken promise the NFL ever made. Here's the bottom line. The Cleveland Browns had their chance. They were handed a generational talent, a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback who could have changed everything for that franchise. But instead of building around him, they blew it. They didn't appreciate him, they didn't protect him, and they definitely didn't respect him. Instead of realizing how blessed they were to have Deion Sanders in their locker room, the Browns acted like he should be grateful just to wear their colors. That arrogance is exactly what's about to cost them everything. Deion Primetime Sanders has seen enough. The patience is gone. The warning signs are flashing. He's not waiting around for Cleveland to figure it out anymore. Deion is officially done playing nice. He's not watching his son sit on the sidelines while the same franchise that's ruined dozens of careers pretends to trust the process. The clock is ticking, and the Browns better learn how to treat Shedeur with the respect he's earned, or one day soon they'll wake up to breaking news they never thought they'd see. Deion Sanders leaves Cleveland, returns to Colorado with Deion. Can you imagine the chaos? That headline would send shockwaves through the entire league. ESPN, Fox, every podcast, every sports blog, they'd all go nuclear. Fans would call it historic. Critics would call it reckless. But everyone would agree on one thing. The Browns did this to themselves. And it wouldn't just be about football anymore. It would be about respect. It would be about family. About a father refusing to let his son be humiliated by a team that doesn't value him. Deion didn't build the prime time empire by letting people walk over him. He built it by standing tall, protecting his name, and demanding excellence at every level. So if you think he's about to let his son be treated like some expendable rookie, think again. The message couldn't be clearer. You either respect the Sanders name or you lose it. There's no middle ground. If an organization can't recognize greatness when it's standing right in front of them, then they don't deserve to keep it. Cleveland had a golden opportunity to rewrite their story, and they fumbled it. Now Deion's turning that mistake into motivation. The Sanders family doesn't chase validation. They create legacies. And whether it's in Boulder, Cleveland, or somewhere entirely new, Shedeur's journey is far from over. Because this story, it's not ending here. It's just getting started. The drama, the decisions, the fallout, everything from this point forward is going to shape how the NFL looks at power, family, and loyalty forever. The Cleveland Browns had everything they needed, and they blew it. They were gifted a golden opportunity, a quarterback with elite talent, charisma, and market power that could have changed the entire direction of their franchise. But instead of building around Deion Sanders, they played politics, acted entitled, and disrespected the name that demands respect wherever it goes. Sanders. They didn't see the blessing in front of them. They treated Shedeur like a backup instead of a breakthrough, like a placeholder instead of a phenom. And now, the same arrogance that's haunted Cleveland for decades is about to come full circle. Because when Deion Sanders says he's done, he's done. Primetime has officially drawn the line. He's not waiting for empty promises or another just give it time excuse from a losing franchise. He's not about to watch his son rot behind a system that's allergic to success. The message is loud and clear. Show respect or lose everything that comes with it. And if Cleveland doesn't wake up, then picture this. The headline flashes across every screen in America. Deion Sanders leaves Cleveland, returns to Colorado under Deion's command. Boom. The NFL would erupt. Sports networks would go into meltdown mode. The internet would explode with reactions, think pieces, and outrage. Everyone would have an opinion, but no one could deny the truth. The Browns had the crown jewel in their hands, and they let it slip away. This isn't just football drama, this is legacy warfare. This is about a father standing his ground, protecting his bloodline, and proving once again why the Sanders name holds more weight than an entire franchise. Deion didn't spend decades building primetime just to let anyone tear it down. He fought for respect his entire life, and now he's making sure his son never has to. The Browns had their moment, their chance, their future, and they fumbled it like only Cleveland can. They could have had a dynasty. Instead, they're about to become the punchline in Deion's next victory lap. Because the Sanders family doesn't chase approval, they set the standard. So here's the reality. Either you honor the Sanders name or you lose access to it. There's no middle ground, no negotiation, no second chance. The league's been warned. Prime time doesn't bluff. And for those watching this story unfold, buckle up, because it's not over yet. The next move could shake the entire league. The Browns' mistake just reignited the legend of prime time, and the whole NFL's about to feel it. This saga is football history in motion. Stay tuned right here on Huddle Files, because what's coming next will change everything. If this saga had you shook, wait till you see what's next. You already know what it is. Huddle Files got the real, raw, and unfiltered breakdowns. So don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.